Hey there, it's Jen, and I'm here to share with you my first layout process video for my collection Disconnection series using the Schow Little by Little collection. Today, what I want to focus on is the kind of woodland kind of theme that's a little bit running throughout this collection. There are some like foxes and different woodland creatures in here, and also just kind of the florals and outdoorsy things. I have this random photo of a huge mushroom in my front yard, and I wanted to talk about how there's this little area underneath our huge pine tree that grows these really nasty mushrooms, and they seem otherworldly. And I just, they don't look it really here, but just, I don't know, you have to see them in person. But, so I just wanted to tell that story, and so I'm going to be using that. I'm going to put you on fast forward, and I'll talk you through what I'm going to do for this layout. Probably using a white cardstock background, and I'm thinking about using just the 6x6 paper pad for this one.
Okay, so I'm going to start by looking through my embellishments and pulling out the things that I think might work for this layout. And so, like I mentioned before, I'm going to focus on kind of floral, outdoorsy kind of stuff, and there's a bunch of it in this kit, or in this collection. And I'm pulling out some of the little animals and different things, and I'm pulling out my 6x6 paper pad because I'm thinking that I want to try to just stick to the 6x6 papers for this layout. I love the way that it's so easy if you don't want to buy an entire collection, or if you have so much pattern paper but you still want to get the feel of the collection, that you can just grab the 6x6 paper pad and some of your favorite embellishments and get creating that way. So I am going to stick completely to the 6x6 paper pad, except for one cheat, which is cutting out the word wonder from that paper that has all of the words on it. So I did cheat just a little bit, but you could use something else for the word wonder if you don't have that paper. And I'm using the thickers to spell out the word wild, and I'm going to have my title be Wild Wonder, and I'm doing it all in the aqua. So there were enough of those letter thickers for me to do that. And I decide to go ahead and outline the word wonder. Some of the words on that paper were already outlined, and I felt like because I was going to put this directly on my photo that it would help it to stand out. So I just go ahead and take my favorite black Muji pen and give that a quick little outline, and then I'm going to cut out the letters. And I am cutting them out individually just with my small micro tip scissors from Close to My Heart, which I love. And it's a pretty simple word to cut out, not too many fussy cutting. And I don't worry about the centers of the word or the letters like O and D. And so while I'm cutting that out, I just want to mention I did hear yesterday that the new Schow collection has launched, and it looks pretty fun. So this is a good opportunity for me to get this collection used up before her next one comes out. So I'm glad about that, and I hope that you'll do the same. So here I have taken some of the 6x6 papers, and the one that I really want to kind of focus on or make the most visible is that one with the flowers and the little animals on it. And so I'm going to have my photo rest on top of that, and then I pull a couple of other patterns from the paper pad that I think will work well with this. I thought about the trees just because they were outdoorsy, but I don't think they quite work here. So I decided to go with a blue stripe and then the black and white polka dot. I decided to map my photo just with some white cardstock so that it stands out a little bit against all of that busy background, and just trimming that down a little bit, just a small border there. And then I'm just going to leave those 6x6 papers the size that they are. So it's super simple to just rip them out and kind of create a little layer, a bunch of layers for your photo or photos. I've done this with multiple photos as well, but today I only had the one photo to document this story. So I am going ahead and outlining my pattern papers just to give them a little bit of definition, and that also helps them feel connected and like they go together. And then I'm taking my stapler, my tiny attacher, and just stapling those layers together so that I can make sure they stay exactly where I want while I just add a little bit of adhesive in there. And I got it a little bit crooked, so I'm just kind of trying to fix that now. And placing my photo on top, and I'm liking the way the layers are looking. I like the way the green pops against the blue, so happy with that. I decided against using that floral paper. It was cute, but it was going to be too busy if I wanted to also use the patterned paper with the florals and the animals on it. So my favorite paper from the collection is this one, and I cut my 6x6 paper in half, and I'm cutting it in half again because I'm realizing I only need 3 inches of it at the top and bottom to create what looks like a strip of pattern paper going down the whole page. And so this is a good way to kind of stretch your supplies, is to just cut things up and just use pieces of them. So I'm outlining that as well, just the top, or yeah, the top and the sides, because the other 2 parts will be covered, and placing my cluster of pattern papers on top of the seam and getting my photo down. So now I'm ready to go ahead and place down my title. And what I decide to do is to pop up all of those letters on foam adhesive. And I just have this fun foam that I got at Walmart. It's super inexpensive. I think I got $5 for 60 sheets or something like that. And I spared you from watching me place that on the back of all those letters, but I just put them on the back of the word wonder, and it's adhesive on one side so I can peel and stick it to the letter, but then I need to use adhesive to get it onto my page. And then I'm kind of tucking the word wild into the word wonder, so it kind of overlaps it just a tiny bit. And now I'm going to play around with these die cuts to see what ones will work here. And you can see there's a little space to the left of the word wild because I thought I might want to put something there on top of the photo. And I decided to put a cluster of flowers there from the die cuts. And then I'm going to use that cute little fox at the top. I pulled out a little sticker that says totally normal. That's red because the fox is red and then there's the red flower. So I'm going to bring a little bit of red into this layout. And then I'm going to, these are from the sticker book, and these are super cute little speech bubble journaling tag things, and I'm just layering some of them up down at the bottom. And then I decide that I will make this kind of a diagonally designed layout by placing more embellishment to balance that at the top right. And so I'm going to use that cute little bear. So you can see now I've got a fox and a bear, and I'm thinking about using one of those trees that's from the 6x12 sticker sheet. I end up not using it, but it looks okay right now, but then the way that I decide to add more things, it just ends up not working out. I am going to use this little owl, and I'm going to kind of tuck him into the flowers. So I am using several of those little creatures, and those were something that I thought would be hard to use, but I think that the key here was to just, there's not people in my photo, so I don't feel like it distracts from the photo by having another little face on there, you know. And also it's a really outdoorsy photo, and so I think that's kind of the winning combination for me. So if you're having a struggle using these cute little creatures as well, that's an idea for you, is to take one of your favorite photos you've taken outside, if you take any of those kinds of pictures, and use them that way. And I think it totally works. So I'm looking through the die cuts again to see what I can add to that top cluster, because I feel like it needs something. And I decide to grab the feathers out of the die cuts, and they will kind of balance that floral cluster. So I'm not going to put another floral cluster because the other florals are purple, and I'm not going to include purple on this page. But I think that the feathers kind of work well as a balance to it anyway. And they have the yellow and the red, which I need to bring in, kind of a pinkish red. I also thought I needed to add a little bit of teal in, and so I got that label sticker that says congratulations, and I'm just going to cover up the word congratulations. I cut off the little thing at the bottom of the fox so that I could use it on something else as a little blue word. I can't remember what it says now, but I'm hoping to use that on another layout. So since it was going to get covered up. And I'm just going to start adhering these different pieces into my layers now. And thinking about that tree, but now that I've got the feathers there, it kind of feels weird. So I decide to put it back. And I am going to just use those 2 feathers up there at the top. And I'm still thinking I need to find something to cover up the rest of that word congratulations. So I went to my puffy stickers and thought, what can I add from the puffy stickers? And so I decided to add a couple of little hearts and some flowers. And I'm going to add some to each embellishment cluster. So 1 heart in each and then 1 flower in each. And I haven't added a flower to the bottom, but I will. I decide that bear is kind of a gray color, and I needed some of that color at the top. So there's this little label that's in the sticker book, and I just am adding that in as another layer in that embellishment cluster there. And then I will add the other piece of it to the bottom too. I just felt like it needed some gray up there. So I'm feeling like I need something to pop up. That little bear is popped up on foam, and so is the word wonder, but there's nothing popped up at the top. And so I'm thinking of using that little pinked circle, and I'm trying to find something to put in the middle of it because it looks strange on its own. So I decide to go to my 6x6 paper pad and cut out one of the little trees and see if that works. And I thought it would be a nice way to bring in some green up at the top as well, but it just looks strange, and I decide against that. So I am just going to, oh, here's where I'm going to put that little other piece of the wood grain there down at the bottom, and then I'm going to add that little flower. So there's pink flowers in each cluster and red hearts. So I decide to pop up the feather, and since it's tucked into the layers, I just pop up the top half of it, not the whole feather, and I think that works well. So I thought, I'm ruffling up the edges of my pattern papers just to give it a little more dimension. And then I'm going to write my journaling on that little sticker at the bottom, just using my black Muji pen. Now that is a slick sticker, but I just find if I let it dry for a while, it ends up working fine with this pen. So I'm happy with that. And just writing a few sentences about the mushrooms like I told you earlier. I'm going to stamp the date, just the month and year, using the Schow roller date stamp with Stays on ink on the tag on the left, or that little, I don't know, banner. And then I thought about adding some enamel dots, and I decided against it. It just doesn't work out the way I thought it would. And so I am going to go to my sticker sheet here, and I'm going to add some little gold stars instead. And I think that's cute, and I like the addition of the gold. And so I just put one by the title, one by the bear, and then one up at the top. And I will move those around a little bit later, you'll see in a minute. And I add some Heidi Swapp Gold Color Shine. And I'm just adding little droplets. And then after I was done, I kind of decided I wanted a little bit more. So I found these silhouette cut files. They're actually in my shop, some leaf cut files that I had cut out. And I'm just using what I already had cut out. I didn't cut anything new, but they were just sitting in a bowl on my table. And so I'm just adding these in because I felt like I wanted a little bit more of something, but not too much. And since they're white, it doesn't hurt anything. It doesn't take away from anything. So you can see I'm just kind of cutting these up and just placing bits and pieces of these leaves around. And if I had been less lazy, I might have taken that leaf, that large leaf that's on the left-hand side. That one's my favorite, and cut that out a few more times in different sizes and placed that around the layout. But seriously, I was feeling lazy. So I just used what I had and cut it up and made it work. And I think it looks cute still. So I am just placing the different elements into the clusters, and that's going to really finish the layout as soon as I get the leaves figured out. I wanted to place them in a few different places on each part of the layout. There are some still photos coming up, and you can find out more on my blog at craftyjenschow.com, where I'll link to all available products that I used, as well as in the video description below. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you soon.